everybody! So today I'm going to be talking to you about kind of how I've prepared to move to San Francisco and the way that I'm doing it and the whole shebang about it. I leave in like 2 months and it just has crept up so fast on me. I knew it was approaching quickly, but it wasn't until I went to the rest of my class's graduation and my teacher came up to me and was like, "Oh, you're leaving in like 2 months." And it was like, oh my god, I am. I'm leaving in 2 months, and kind of felt overwhelming there for a second. So everybody kind of does it a little bit differently, and I'm just going to tell you kind of how I've prepared for it and what I've done and stuff like that. So number one, first thing I did was research. And this is very important because it will kind of tell you how the rest of everything's going. So first thing I did, knowing that San Francisco is a very expensive city to live in, was check out areas that I would be interested in. I did research on kind of the different areas and which ones I would be interested in living in and which ones people said, no, kind of stay out of these, and found out the apartment price range there and the square footage range, and kind of gave myself a basis of what I'm looking for. So my range is up to $1,400, which is insane, but I would really like to stay around the $1,200 marker. I could go as high as $1,400 if I found something that I absolutely loved and was just gung-ho about. Next thing I did was look at the types of jobs that I tend to work, or the career that I would be going into, how many of those jobs were out there on a regular basis, kind of posted to Craigslist and things like that, and about how much they paid. So I knew, okay, apartments in this area cost about this is about how much I could get paid, could I pay my bills off that, or how would that work? So I found out that that would be okay. I would be able to pay my bills based off of the salary of those jobs, etc. Next step was savings, which has been killing for me. I am a spender, I am not a saver. I love to go shopping, I love to buy new makeup and new clothes, and when I see something cute I want to pick it up, so it has just been torture for me. I set a goal for myself of, you know, rent, first month's rent, deposit. A lot of places require first month rent, deposit, and last month rent. And then the base things that I could get by on furniture wise, which would be a sofa sleeper and a TV cabinet, and then I could pretty much survive off of next to nothing else. I could get some really cheap plasticware for dishes and go from there. So that was kind of the base of what I absolutely had to have. Added those up and got the total of how much I wanted to save and kind of how long it would take me to get there. I also had to incorporate Matt's schedule in my planning and my scheduling, but I'm also the type of person that I have to set a specific date. I can't be like, oh, well, you know, when it's convenient or when I save this much or whatever. I have to be like, I have this much time to do everything, to save this, and then be done with it. So mine was May. I have pushed it back to May 18th instead of May 4th, just due to some work conflicts, but it's not that big a deal. It's actually going to help me in the long run. So there's that. Alright? In order to save, I knew that if I'm working around the clock, because I'm currently working 3 jobs, hence the no time to YouTube or blog or be on anything, and why I'm not Twittering at all, because it would be like, hey, off to work, hey, sitting at work, hey, coming home from work, going to bed so I can go to work. That would pretty much be my Twitter right now, but it is so worth it. So I can't work, you know, 80-hour work weeks and have nothing to show for it and not break down. So I opened a separate bank account and have been putting my paychecks in there, and then I take 20% of my paycheck and put it in a separate account that I can use to spend, so that I have a little bit of money to spend on something like grabbing lunch with friends or something like that, but it's not the bulk of my money. That way I don't crack and I don't divulge into the rest of it or anything like that. And I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head, but who knows. So yes, 80% of everything I've made has gone towards San Francisco, which has been really, really hard, especially when, you know, I get a nice big paycheck and at the end of it, you know, after putting my actual savings away and then my San Francisco savings away and then paying any bills, I have like $30. And I'm like, oh, you know, I just saw this really, really, really cute shirt, but it's like $35, so I can't get it if I want to, you know, grab lunch in the next 2 weeks with a friend of mine or anything like that. So it's been a struggle and it's hard, but I know what I'm working for and I know that I really, really want it, and I know it's something that is going to make me so much happier in the long run than buying that shirt is going to. So it's worth it. I actually even put a picture of San Francisco on my card that has all my San Francisco money in it, which sounds so ridiculous, but every time I see it, it reminds me why I'm putting that money there, why I'm not spending it, what I'm working for. And I find that really, really helps. And one second. So another thing that really, really helps with that is my life book. I don't know if I've done a video about this. If you guys would like a video or a blog post or something about this, just comment down below and let me know. But every time I see some cute little design idea or, you know, just things that I want in my place, just anything like that, I put it in here and I write about it, and this is what I'm working for, this is what I want. So it's constantly refreshed and constantly renewed in my head that this is what I'm working for. Here is a visual representation of what I'm working for, because I'm very much so one of those people that responds to visual representations and writing things out. This is why I want it, this is why I'm working for it. So I do that a lot. I do, you know, these are the things I want to get for my new apartment. These are the things that I want to do in San Francisco. This is, you know, a really cute bathroom that I could incorporate there, things like that. It's also very different because it's kind of the first place that's really mine. So I get to decorate it however I want. I don't have, you know, to kind of incorporate Matt's style in there too, so it's kind of been fun for me to be able to decorate that, and I know it won't be like that for everybody. So we have our financial section taken care of, and now it's time for part 2, which has been, I think, even harder than the financial part of it, and that is getting rid of everything I own. So I have spent years and years and years, obviously, developing my wardrobe and my house and things like that. And as you can see, all this is going to be sold in the next like week or two, or taken to Goodwill. And I still have a lot more things to go to. I'm doing a home moving sale later on next month, so it's a lot. So how did I go about this? First of all, I kind of wrote in my book, let me find it, each individual thing I needed to go through. So I need to go through my clothes, my shoes, my accessories, my books, my movies, my makeup, my nail polish, house stuff and miscellaneous, bags and purses, and office stuff. And I have my little note here at the bottom. Get rid of everything that I don't need, use, or want. Really think it through if it is something that I have to keep and why, if it is something that I want to be part of my new life. So it's hard to get rid of things because everything that we have for a reason, and a lot of us shop because, you know, that new thing will just make our house perfect, or this new shirt will really set off this outfit and make me feel good about myself, or whatever the reason is. I'm very much so an emotional shopper, so that's kind of how I go about it. So it's been really rough, and I will 100% admit that there are probably things that I don't completely need that I've held on to just because I wasn't ready to get rid of them. I am moving from very large apartments and houses into a 300 to 500 square foot studio. So keeping everything is not an option, and I would also like to design it and decorate it very, very different. So once again, keeping everything is not an option. I'm used to having 1 to 2 walk-in closets, so there is that I'm going to be going to a closet that's like this big, can't keep everything, and it's really made me think about what's important, what I use, what, really defines what I need to keep. And I've pretty much narrowed almost all my stuff down to about 20 boxes. So that's a lot. My recommendation for going through stuff and getting rid of stuff is, if you're not in the mood, don't do it, because you're going to keep far more stuff than you need. Just because you're not in the mood to do it. If you're going through things and, I don't know about that, well, maybe. Put it off till another day. It's not worth it. Move on to something else. And you'll kind of find that it comes in waves. Some days you're just like, get rid of everything. We're all good on, maybe your movie collection and your books. But then when you go to your clothes, it's like, oh, well, should I? And then it'll be flip-flop. One day clothes will be, everything out the door, and movies and books will be something different. I've narrowed it down to things that I use at least, once a month on a regular basis. And things that I think I will have time for when I move there that will be more interesting to me than something that's going on around San Francisco. And also things that I feel I would want to make time for because I really like them or will accent my life in some way. I was able to get rid of a lot of things just based off of that. I mean, a lot of things. I have gone through consignment shops. I've gone through just straight out sellers like, I don't know if you guys have it, like Independent Records, Twist and Shout, Buffalo Exchange, places like that. I've sold to friends, I've sold to classmates, I've sold to teachers and bosses and pretty much anybody. There for a while they were calling me the makeup pimp at a beta because every single day I came in with a new bag of makeup or nail polish or something. I'm like, hey, want to buy some makeup? It was like a drug dealer at school because I just had so much stuff and I needed to get rid of it. Here before too long my camera's going to cut me off, so there might be a weird thing. So there was that. I packed the things I wanted to take in boxes and wrote on them what they were, but I did not seal them. Then as time kind of got closer and I had gone through most of my stuff, I took everything back out of the boxes one by one and went re-through it and, okay, do I really need this? Now that I've kind of got more of my design plan down and kind of know more what I'm looking at, do I need this? Yes or no? And I got to cut out almost another half of my stuff just doing that. So that really helps. Go through it again at another date after you've already gone through it, because you'll notice that kind of the emotional ties start to get broken there. So I did that. I tried to condense as much as I possibly could, and it has been really, really just empowering and showing me how much I just don't need all this extra crap in my life, especially when I'm going to be in a place that's going to make me so happy and I'm going to have so much to do, and just, I'm totally rambling, but I'm getting really excited, but I'm also like terrified and anxious, and I just have so much to do. So, got rid of a lot of stuff. I'm going to be doing a moving sale too for other things such as dishes and stuff like that. And another part of cutting the emotional ties is there's some things that, you spend a lot of money on, and it's kind of hard to let them go, when somebody's like, oh, I'll give you like 20 bucks for that, and you're like, wow, I spent like 100 on it. But you just gotta let it go and be like, okay, not a problem. I don't need this in my life. My life is going to be better without it, and that $20 is going to make my dream come true. So I've been doing a lot of that, and it's just a whole lot of stuff. Moving on, I'm actually going to stop this for a second before it cuts me off and then start back up. So give me 2 seconds. Okay, so moving on. Hopefully that wasn't too disturbing in there. Talking about getting rid of stuff. On top of that is that there is stuff that you are going to need to keep till the end, but you don't necessarily want to take with you, such as cooking things like that. You have 2 options. Either have somebody that wants it that you can give to them like last minute and they don't mind, or just cut the ties, use it until you need it, put a big bag of stuff or a big box of stuff, you know, the day before you move, drive it down to Goodwill, dump it off, be done with it. I've noticed that this whole process has really made me cut emotional ties with things that don't matter and things that are material that honestly, I mean, they make you happy for like, what, 5-6 minutes, and then you're moving on to something else and it doesn't even matter anymore. And then there's that handful of things that really do make you happy. That shirt that you put on and you feel awesome. Those things are worth having. But you don't need 15, yeah, they're cute shirts. So cut down makeup, cut down nail polish, cut down clothes, cut down house stuff, movies, music. The only thing that was really, really difficult for me that I haven't really been able to do, and thankfully Matt has offered to put in his storage for me, is my records. That is the one thing that I'm like, I don't use them every day. I'm not DJing anymore. I don't, need them. But me and Matt spent a lot of time doing that, so you may have that one or two things that kind of need that. And I've had to be realistic about the space that I'm going to have, but also the potential that that space could give me if done right, and I want to do it right. So I've saved, and I've purged, and I've gotten rid of everything. Now that we're getting a little bit closer, I've really had to kind of consider the process of it. I don't want to take a big truck out there. San Francisco is not a very big place. There's not going to be some place for me to park it. So I called around, and I've never driven on the highway. I know, shocking. And I've never driven more than like a half hour, 45 minutes by myself. So driving, 28 hours by myself with Matt in another car didn't really seem like an option. So I am going to rent a small U-Haul and just tow my car. We've kind of decided that, but it was one of those things we kind of had to figure out our options and what would work best for that. Part of the downside of that is that I do have to rent a 10-foot truck in order to tow my car, and I obviously am not going to be even filling up half of that, but it's okay because I'm going to refurnish a lot from IKEA just because it's cheap and it's kind of cute once I move, and I can use the truck to haul my crap from IKEA to my apartment. So just kind of choices and decisions, and it can be hard. I will 100% agree to you. There is not a single paycheck that I don't see it and I'm like, dude, I really want to go to Forever 21 and Love Culture, and they've had such cute stuff lately, and I can't. But then I think about when I go to San Francisco and I can go down to Chinatown and grab, some awesome cute little bath stuff, and then go to Japantown and have some like amazing sushi, and then go have cocktails at a real place that knows how to actually make cocktails, and it's not like beer in a shot town like Denver is. I get like ecstatically happy, and I'm like, okay, it's all worth it, never mind. So kind of in whole, I have saved and scraped and just whittled away as much money as I possibly can. When I do that, I do keep track of it because Okay, so I had to cut that out because I accidentally showed my address and my parents' security code, so not a good thing. Like I said, I'm a very visual person, so I write down every single time that I put, even if it's $10, every time I put any money towards San Francisco, I write it down, and then every time I get to, add that little bit more, I'm like, oh my god, I'm this much closer, oh my god, I only have this much to go. Oh, and it feels so amazing. So if you're like me and you're very visual, write it down, search for apartments constantly, because you will start to get worn out. You will start to get, god, is this worth it? Do I really want to go through it? It's so stressful, oh, it's just not, just screw the whole thing. And I probably shouldn't have said that on the internet, but whatever. And if you have that, okay, I'm $10 closer. Okay, this bathroom is really cute. Okay, I really like the bay windows in this apartment. It's a little on my price range, but it's really cute. It will keep you motivated. I constantly look at apartments. I constantly look at jobs. I constantly look at cool things to do around San Francisco. I constantly look at vlogs about, living in San Francisco and things like that, I mean, it is a daily obsession of mine because it keeps me motivated, it keeps me going, it keeps me just, this is what I'm working for, this is why, you know, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, I just got home at 10, have had next to no sleep, and I'm going to work again, but it's worth it because this apartment could be mine. Something like this could be mine. I could be going to that amazing restaurant. I could be going to this really cool street fair. I could be doing all of those things. So just constantly find ways to visually keep yourself interested in doing it. Like I said, I have pictures in my life book. I write down my money. I search blogs. I search apartments. I search things to do. I search jobs, things like that. Now, a lot of people have asked me, do I have an apartment out there? Do I know people out there? Do I have a job lined up out there? Various other things along those lines. The answer to all of them is no. No, I do not. I don't have a job out there. I do not have an apartment out there. I know no one in San Francisco, although thankfully some very, very, very sweet girls off of YouTube have kind of reached out to me and talked to me about it and willing to help me out and show me around and, you know, things like that. So thank you. You guys know who you are, and you're amazing, and you've made things much easier on me. Like I said in my previous video, my subscribers and all you guys are definitely my all-time favorite of this month because it's been such a great month with you guys, even though I feel like I'm not invested in this as much as I used to be. So moving on, let's not get all scatterbrained. So no, I don't. San Francisco, I have seen an apartment I love. It's in my price range. It's in the neighborhood I want. I look at it and then I come home 2 hours later to show Matt, hey, look at this really cool apartment I have, and it says that it's rented and it's gone. I'm not going to, you know, try to put down a giant hold on some apartment to hold it all the way until May. That's insane. Same thing with jobs. Jobs come and they go and they're done, and it's just, it's too fast, and people don't want to hold a position for you for 2-3 months. They just don't. So I am planning on doing all that closer to the time. Probably when I have about a month countdown, I will secure an apartment. I'm hoping I can get one of my beautiful subscribers out there, hint hint, to possibly, you know, go double check apartments for me if I find one I'm interested in. Make sure that, you know, it is what the posting is. Start applying for jobs regularly. I'm also going to try to transfer with one of my jobs now. No guarantees there. But to be quite honest, it's not the most important thing to me because this is my dream. It's where I really want to be. It's where my heart and soul is. And if I have to work at Taco Bell to pay my bills for a little while, then so be it. It's a job. Who cares? I work at Taco Bell until I find a good paying job that is something that I love and that I like, and then I quit. What doesn't matter? And places like Taco Bell and McDonald's and Starbucks and Target and places like that are always hiring. So I am not worried about the job. I will take whatever job lands in my lap while I find something better. Really, truly, that's just the way it is. Not a problem for me. That's life. So as far as knowing people out there, no, but I mean, I'll figure something out. I'm sure I'll have coworkers. I have all of you lovelies out there. I'll meet people at cool, interesting things, and life will move on. It's not the end of the world. And to be quite honest, while I know a lot of people in Denver, I'm not horribly close to really many of them. So that's not going to be a big deal to me. Matt's going to visit me fairly regularly, so that takes more pressure off of that because I will have him there quite a bit, especially in the beginning. He's been very, very supportive of this and is just so amazing, and he really understands that it's something I have to do for myself to make me happy because I'm not happy here. So I'm hoping I just did not spend like, what, 25 minutes rambling and didn't help at all. If you guys have any questions, as always, you can comment down below or send me a message on Facebook or my email. Like I said, I always get those much more frequently, and I do always try to put the links down below. I'm not sure if I did on my last favorites. I will have to double check, but I always try to. So definitely message me on Facebook or on my email, just because I don't get to these comments very often. But I do try, so if it's something kind of general, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If it's something specific or something that's kind of time sensitive, go ahead and send me a message over there or email me and I will get to it. And also, let me know if you guys are interested in knowing more about my life book. It seems to be a big topic of conversation lately. I don't know, all the people at my various jobs are very, very interested in it, and a lot of them have started one, and I just think it's cool. One thing that I did not talk about, and has kind of come in handy now that we're getting closer down to the wire, is I printed out calendars with my work schedule on there and kind of when I could plug in different things so I didn't get overwhelmed by a whole bunch of stuff right at the end. So it's like, you know, sorting magazines and tearing out all the pictures and gluing them in and sorting through different boxes and things like that, just so I have a very laid out timetable on this needs to be done today, this needs to be done today, and I'm not trying to do 500 things, you know, the week before I leave, because that would be a nightmare, and I would probably like have a panic attack and just curl up on the floor and cry. So we're trying to not do that. I'm trying to stay very organized with to-do lists. Every month I write out a to-do list of everything I need to do that month, that has to get done that month, and I will be very, very happy when all of these boxes in the back over here are gone and done with, and I'm not living in a storage unit, because that's what I feel like right now, is I have boxes and boxes and boxes full of stuff to get rid of that I'm just living with right this second, and it's driving me nuts. Alright, so I'm going to I'm going to stop rambling and carrying on about this crap, and thank you guys so much for your support, and yeah, my girls in San Francisco, I can't wait to see you. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys all later.